entertainment, and more. Joined by America's favorite Jersey girl, Robin DiLauri. It's the King and the Cup.
Nothing seems to fit. Those raindrops are falling on my head. They keep falling. So I just did me some talking to the sun. And I said I didn't like the way he got things.
Good morning, good afternoon, good lunchtime, good day, good life, good everything. You're listening and watching The King and the Cop on NJ.com, on Facebook, on YouTube, live, on so many networks that you can enjoy this show. I am Robin DiLauri. This is Tommy Cetnar. Jim Leyritz. He is not around today because he is at where is he, Tommy?
Waiting for the rain to stop so he can go to the Yankee game.
He's waiting for the rain to stop. And will it stop?
I believe within the next hour, rumor has it that they're going to cancel the game if they didn't already. It's supposed to be heavy rain throughout the day and night, but I'm no Sam Champion.
No, you are not.
Speaking of Sam Champion, I think he got kicked off Dancing with the Stars.
Well, speaking of the Yankees, what's going on with that?
Well, what do you mean?
Well, I haven't been following.
Why?
Because I just haven't.
Because you're a Met fan?
Yep.
Well, the Mets are home, and the Yankees are in the playoffs, and they won 4-1 the other night. And game 2 is tonight, but it looks like they're going to get rained out, which would cost them any breaks from now to Monday if it goes 5 games, which would mean they would play tomorrow afternoon. And MLB has to make a decision within the next couple hours, supposedly.
Well, hopefully the show will go on for all of you ticket holders. I will be not caring whether or not they play anyway. So the rain to me is just more of a depressing type of thing. But we'll take it because we had a beautiful week here in New Jersey thus far. As long as it doesn't rain for Friday night games tomorrow for high school. That's really all I care about. Hanover Park is playing Pequannock. And it should be a good game. So I'm happy to be here. Are you happy to be here, Mr. Nork Cop?
No, I'm not.
Okay.
It's raining out. There'll be no Yankee game tonight. I'm tired of the weather in this state. And I probably shouldn't be on a channel that's called On New Jersey.
Why is that?
Because it's a miserable, miserable state to live in, only but 2 months out of the year.
Well, I think the only thing miserable right now is you, my wonderful husband.
No, you asked me.
Okay.
Right? Nobody likes to walk out every day and it's raining or snowing or sleet, and nobody likes that. And
nobody likes to turn
There's
on.
no more 4 seasons anymore. There's no.
Nobody
fall.
likes to turn on their computer and stream a show where somebody's miserable,
I'm
like
not miserable.
this.
You
You just said you were miserable.
I'm miserable about the weather.
Okay, well, we're all New Jersey, everything New Jersey. So you're going to have to either fall in love with it again or fake it until you make it.
Or move. Like most people are doing. That's a subject. A lot of people are leaving New Jersey.
They're not happy.
They're not?
No.
I've never seen bigger smiles on my friends' faces.
Which ones?
All my buddies, all my
Give me
classmates.
an example.
All my classmates. They're on their boats. Their pensions.
Yeah, how did that hurricane work out for them on their boats?
So we had a hurricane here called Sandy, if you remember.
Yep.
I think it was a little bit worse than what they had.
Yep. Well,
so you can't run from Mother Nature.
No, you cannot.
But the odds are that when you walk out of the house, it's going to be a lot nicer. Why you enjoy the fall here now? Because I don't remember seeing any leaves on the trees. Yeah.
Hello.
Yeah.
Look right there.
Yeah. And they're almost stripped already, and it's only not even mid-October.
If I could show you the most beautiful tree, I can't. Because we just don't have that capability in the studio. But if I could show you the most beautiful, vibrant orange tree across the street, hence, this is a beautiful place to live. in the fall. But I will say those leaves will be off in what?
So you think the fall today is the same fall as you had when you were a kid?
I don't really remember.
What do you remember when you were 21? Do you remember it
I
being
don't.
like this?
I don't really
20,
remember.
20 years ago, you remember that there is just when you went from spring, right? They skip over fall and spring. It's winter and it's summer now here.
I do know that I don't feel like we've had massive winters lately.
No, which is worse. You don't mind the snow, but it's just outright ugliness. It's like in between, cold, disgusting.
Yeah, for sure. So
Right.
where is our Jimmy today?
I told you he's on a Yankee assignment, and the game's supposed to be tonight, and he would be going to the game, but I haven't got a report yet back that the game. Oh, it says time to look back. Nope, still no word yet if the Yankees will be playing tonight. And the people are just waiting to. It messes up the whole pitching rotation. It screws up a lot of things.
Well, you just let me know if they play.
What are you going to do? You're not going to watch it.
No, I know.
Yeah.
But
to my point earlier in the week where I said you're a typical Met fan because you just can't stand the Yankees. Like once you're out, you don't care. So you're a wasted ticket.
Would you care?
Yeah, I'm a baseball fan, and I root for the Mets. I never understood I hate the Mets. I hate the Yankees. Root for both. I root for the Jets. I root for the Giants. Root for the Knicks. We live in this area. Why would I root against those teams unless they were playing each other and I had to pick one? It would be the one that I followed as a child.
Okay. Somebody got up on the wrong side of the bed this morning.
Who?
Not me.
Oh. What else you got?
Wow.
But
no, I mean that's great. I've got a lot of things to talk about today.
All right. Yeah. See what happened as you mentioned the football game on
it's
Friday
funny
night?
because it's funny because I feel like one day what I'd like to do is, maybe Saturday, in fact, when I have this world-class jazz ensemble behind me, I'm going to just I'll hand you the microphone and I'll say, what else you got?
Well, I didn't mean it like that. I meant
what
that
do you
I
mean
thought
by-
maybe you were going to talk about Saturday. What else you got? That's what I was alluding to.
No, that's not what you were saying.
That's exactly what I was saying.
Okay. So what I have.
Yeah.
Here's what I have.
And if you handed me the mic, I couldn't sing, but I surely can handle myself. Right? I'll probably talk about the weekend, the Yankees getting rained out in this horrific weather state. How's that? Better that I called a horrific weather state instead of...
Yeah, no, I mean, that's fine. That's fine.
So you want to talk about Saturday or you don't?
Oh, yeah, of course I do. Saturday, October 15th at NJ Pack is an unbelievable event. Pretty much, I have to say, not to sensationalize it as if things like this don't happen, but I would be surprised if something to this enormity has happened in the past. So my point is that Deb Balfado is a trailblazer and is literally putting on an event,
creating a movement
with her team that is a full day symposium, if you will, of women and women's health and the movement of, to me, it's about women need to stop and, I mean, not to be too trite here, but stop and smell. I'm hot. Stop and smell the roses and realize that we have to put ourselves first. It's like on the airplane. If we don't give ourselves the oxygen first, we can't help everyone else around us.
Well, that goes for anybody, don't you think?
Yeah, no, I know. But
women are the majority carrying the families.
I'm just saying that this particular event
Yeah.
is, for women.
Why do women outlive men?
I
if
can't.
They don't put themselves first.
I can't answer that.
That's an interesting question because men get sicker faster than women. And what Deb's doing is bringing awareness to things that are super important for women, and she's taking it to the next level, and she'll save people's lives as a result of it. There's no doubt about that.
100%.
But I wonder why women.
She's even having a mammogram van outside the event.
That's cool.
Do you know how many women have put that off,
Yeah.
knowing that they shouldn't put it off?
Did the younger generations, I know my mother's generation and women around that area, they didn't care as much. To the people, there's so much awareness to it now, or
We didn't have enough education back then.
or is it the insurance companies that suck want to just rape and pillage you and tell you should go for things sometimes that you shouldn't go for?
Well, we have plenty of education to know that early detection saves lives.
Yeah, no
So
doubt. That's not what I'm saying, but you've got mixed recently opinions from doctors as to you should go within this time period, and then another one says, no, you don't have to do that, you should go within this time period.
I did have a doctor tell me that I needed a mammogram only every 2 years.
And then
If
people
it's
struck
not in
that down in a hurry,
if
right?
it's not in my family history.
Yeah.
I
So
did have a doctor tell me that.
how do these doctors shouldn't there just be a Harvard medical study or something that's
Shouldn't that be the case with every facet of medicine?
I think so.
But there isn't, because everyone has their own. There's Eastern approaches, there's Western approaches, there's holistic, there's so many different. There's ego involved when it comes to doctors, as crazy as that sounds, but there's no one way. But I will say, in the fight against breast cancer, I will say there is one way when it comes to knowing this. Early detection saves lives.
Right.
So we do know that. And she has, on Saturday, October 15th, an unbelievable panel of women who are going to speak not only on breast cancer, there's going to be so many more discussions. And quite frankly, I am honored to be a small little part of it, because I think what she is doing has never really been done before to this extent. She's making this an educational day, but an entertaining day. And someone has something in there that is going to speak for them. In other words, it might not be every discussion, but every single person that attends will get something out of at least one facet of that day that I believe will be life altering. And so, bravo to everyone who is putting this event together. But my heart goes out to Deb Belfato, who is fearless in her pursuit to make this happen. Because, by the way, it can't be easy to make this happen. It just can't. The work that goes into something like this really speaks to her passion behind the messages that she wants to get out to the women. And I love it. And I love her.
She's a tremendous lady.
Yep. It's been a joy working with the unbelievable people behind the scenes that don't get their kudos.
Like who?
Well, I've been working closely with a wonderful, wonderful woman by the name of Amy Susie Bradford.
Her name's Amy Susie. Amy Susie?
Her name is Amy Susie.
She's not from New Jersey.
Well, we didn't really get personal on where she's from, and that's hardly the point.
I'm just saying.
Thomas Edward.
Amy Susie.
Thomas Edward. Today we're going to be calling each other by their middle names. So my opinion, Robin Ann's opinion, is that Gail Stone Events is working this.
Nobody better than Gail.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
my goodness, she's the best in the business.
yeah. So she's been working this event, and Amy Susie spearheads the entertainment.
I'm not picking on Amy Susie. That's just a name that you don't hear around here.
No, you're right.
It's probably why she's, well, enough said.
Probably why she's what?
So good at her job.
Because she uses.
she's she was probably down south and very polite and has nice weather and is happy all the time. So
Well,
it's a
she's very
pleasant-
polite.
Right.
I
Very
do not
pleasant.
know where she's from, but I do know that she has been a joy to work with. And I actually haven't met her in person.
We should have it on tomorrow, maybe. Her or Deb.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Or Gail, if Gail's not too busy, you know. Somebody.
I haven't met any of them in person except obviously Deb.
Yeah.
But anyway, we've been talking about musical content and she's just
So what are you going to sing?
well, maybe it needs to
what's-
be a surprise.
What time? Nobody likes surprises. What time do you start your day? You, Robin Ann.
Robin Ann, my call is at 7:30 in the morning. Yeah.
So your driver, Thomas Edward, has to be up.
You're going to drive me?
Have I ever let you go anywhere without driving you to any event or anything like that?
No.
I don't have to, other than our favorite lady, one of our favorite ladies who's been in the hospital the last 3-4 days. So I've been taking care of my mom. She gave us speaking of women's
strength
and tough day, little touch and go the first day, but typical Irish woman. How she fought it, but she was in ICU for a couple of days, and today you and I are gonna go get her out of ICU and get her in a regular room, and then get her home by the weekend. And she's insisting that we are not near her on Saturday, that we're at this great event, because she wanted to know if she could watch it. But I have to tell you that in a world of women and men now who we've witnessed the last few days, a lot of male nurses.
Yeah.
And like cops and firemen, and I have to say teachers. Otherwise, people will get mad because you always got to throw the teachers in there because, you know, they're the greatest.
Why wouldn't you throw the teachers in there?
I don't like
Tommy?
teachers. But I didn't like school. But teachers are wonderful people. You know, you have to take a joke once in a while. You were a teacher. I thought we went out and fastball.
I still am a teacher.
Okay. But these people, what they do, every 5 minutes, somebody's in need of something on that floor or any part of the hospital, and their nurses are in there doing God's work. It's just that simple. I mean, if you are a nurse, especially with all the attention lately to the last couple of years with COVID, how they risked their lives and were on the front line, it's amazing what these nurses do. And it's almost as if they're the doctors because they do all the work. They do all the work.
You do not have to tell me that. I grew up with a wonderful mother who was a nurse at Overlook Hospital for
36 years.
36 years. And let me tell you, when she became the patient, I then fully had a front row seat to seeing what these nurses do. And it is beyond incredible.
It really is.
Do you know that my mother got like a 15-minute lunch?
Yeah.
There was no time, especially when you're a floor nurse. She was on she was on the second floor, and it was called Med Surge. So they got, you know, just a whole bunch of different, you know, it was crazy.
Well, she could sit down and go to take a bite of a sandwich, and somebody calls her. She can't say, "I'll be right there. I got to finish my lunch."
She can't do that.
She's dealing life and death.
And by the way, also another big element to being a nurse and a floor nurse, from what I understand, and I know that any floor nurse listening or nurse listening will not disagree. Just because I am not an RN, I don't think anyone is going to disagree what I'm also about to say. So they're not only taking care of their own patients, but they're a team. So I know for my mother, she did a lot of mentoring. So if she went to sit down and take a bite of, you know, her sandwich, if you will,
right,
and a younger nurse or somebody needed help holding a patient, let's say, you know, for a bedpan or, you know, or a procedure that needed to happen, no one is going to say, wait a minute, So they're always not only helping their own patients, they're helping their colleagues' patients as well. So I can't say enough about nurses. And by the way, let's be really blunt right now. Do you have any idea how disgusting some of the things that these nurses have to do? Now, granted, I know they don't think it's disgusting because they're used to it, but to a normal person that isn't in medicine, do you have any idea how disgusting the things they have to do? And then couple that with the fact that some older people, when they're at their end of their lives or they're just so sad inside, can be very ornery
Mm-hmm.
and they can be very combative. So it's a thankless job in so many ways. One thing I will say, growing up as a nurse's daughter, and to your point, they're like doctors, I could never fake it. Ever.
What do you mean?
I could never fake it if I didn't
you-
want to go to school.
Oh, she knew.
She knew
Yeah.
every time.
Yeah.
She
So-
knew every single time.
What is Caffeina's two owners piping in on there? You got better eyes than me. What is Ronnie asking how his Knicks are doing? Because he's been watching the. How are my Knicks looking? I've been all Yankees and Giants last few weeks. Let me say it's simple to you there, Caffeina founder. Who cares? Does anybody really care, even though hockey started, about hockey or basketball? Can we get finished with baseball first? And can we enjoy the football season?
Ronnie, it looks like somebody didn't drink enough caffeine this morning. Okay. We need to wake him up. Take a swig.
No.
Take a swig.
No, I like it on ice.
Open your mouth.
No, I don't want it. Get out of here. Stop it. Joe Hotshot, how does it feel? Do you still have a hangover with the Mets not being in the playoffs? Do you watch the Mets, to Robin's point? I mean, obviously, watching them play reruns or something, but do you watch the other playoff games or you can't stomach it? San Diego outlasted the Dodgers last night, so they're 1-1 going back to San Diego. So the Padres may be for real. They slapped around the Mets like a redheaded stepchild. I'm sure you're not allowed to say that anymore. But we'll see how the Padres make out. And the Phillies and Braves are 1-1. Yankees are 1-0. And Houston is playing again today. They're up 1-0 after a devastating loss for Seattle. I don't know how Seattle gets off the mat after that. But you were talking about Joey's Friday night game and Friday Night Lights. There's a major incident in Long Branch, New Jersey.
Mm-hmm.
And like we mentioned the other day, crime just continues to just hover and cause havoc and harm. And in this case, which is being reported right now, a quick check that we've been in many times down in West Long Branch, which is really, I don't know the difference between West Long Branch and Long Branch because that's the crack up of all these towns: Seabright, Monmouth Beach, West Long Branch, Long Branch. They really could all be one town. It's ridiculous.
I think one of them is just west.
Yeah. West of what? One block of 36. But that being said, there was a shooting. It's being reported that it's a high school involved. The big rivalry between Long Branch High School and Neptune was scheduled for tomorrow night football game. They have credible information that there was going to be shooting at the game. So they had to cancel the game and move the game to Saturday at 10 a.m. You ready for this? No fans. Nobody's allowed at the game. That was the compromise. They're going to let them play the game, but nobody. And I'm not second guess. I'm not on the front line of that anymore. But are you going to tell me that people who in their right mind thought that they were going to go there and shoot up a football game will now not try to go? God bless you.
Thank you.
And shoot up or get any attention there? It's interesting. Cancel the damn game. I know that hurts the athletes, but if you're not worried, cancel the damn game. Or what do we do? Call the National Guard out to play a high school football game now?
I think we have to talk about guns.
There's nothing to talk about. I say the same thing about
How
guns.
is there nothing to talk about?
Because bad guys always get guns. It has nothing to do. Everybody's so caught up on the laws. I mean, I want a gun. I want to carry a gun now. Don't you?
I don't think that they should be so ready available.
So it shouldn't be ready available. Then, listen, I know this for a fact. They get their guns. They don't get their guns legally. They get them illegally, and then they perform these horrible acts of violence on people. So I don't know. Everybody's just drop the hammer. Let's go. You want to go to war with us 16 and 17-year-old kids? You think you're that tough? Put them in a uniform and put them on the front line in a different country. That's what they used to do. You think you're so tough? Or I think New Jersey residents need to start fighting back. Enough's enough. What are we going to wait to be a victim? I was gone for 2 days and I went to take something in from the front door here, and our door was the one that's supposed to be double locked was open. I don't know if it's broken again. We'll have to get Uncle Steve over here to fix it. But to my point, you just don't know. You don't know where. It doesn't matter. That's in Long Branch. That's right across the street from the ocean. Could be in Florham Park. It could be in East Hanover. It could be in Newark. It could be in Camden. It could be in Vineland. Let's go to Middlesex County. Old I got a notification where my children live that a friend of mine they bumped her and tried to follow her home, hoping she got out of the car. It's just, you can't win. People getting followed from ATM machines, from banks. Went to the bank yesterday to make a deposit. I'm looking around like ready for somebody to just bum rush me at the bank. And I was in the beautiful Little Silver, New Jersey. I don't know. I think there needs to be an all-out. Instead of us being on the defense, maybe we should go on the offense as citizens and law enforcement. 679A, if you're watching today and listening, I'm ready to go. I'm ready. Something about you got to punch back once in a while is my point. And surely can't have 15, 16-year-old absolute juvenile criminals scaring the bejesus out of everybody every time they walk out of their house.
Well, a person in Union just got 55 years for shooting a 19-year-old kid in Elizabeth.
So 55, he got 50. How old was that person?
28.
Right.
3 years ago, the incident happened. He was from Jersey City. He has to spend 46 years and 9 months in the state prison.
Good.
Before he's eligible for parole.
Good.
He gunned down a 19-year-old kid in Elizabeth.
So he'll get out in 40 years. He's 28. He'll be 68 years old. When does the kid from Elizabeth that got shot and murdered get out? Oh, he doesn't. He's dead. He never gets out. How about the death penalty? How about the death penalty, New Jersey? Eye for an eye. Fight back. Enough's enough. It's crazy. It's just crazy. Out of control crazy. I'm not kidding you. I went to 3 different locations yesterday, and I was paying attention. Like, I just can't believe. I'm like, I just can't believe it. I walk in, like, I went into a 7-Eleven down there, and I left my phone in the car. I went back to get my phone. I'm thinking, all right, if I go in there and I don't have my phone and the place is getting robbed and blah, blah, blah. Like this, you can't even just jump out of the car and go to the ATM machine. It's unbelievable. And I think everybody's so paranoid, everybody's staring at each other again.
You think?
Yeah. So the guy that's staring at you, you're thinking he's casing you. But terrible incident down in Long Branch, and former Newark chief was just,
now we're afraid to go to a high school football game.
Yeah, well, it's just terrible. It used to be good. You go over and steal the mascot, or you go and paint the opposite clubhouse a different color. Now you're what do I do? Like get vests for the grandchildren? Bulletproof vests?
God forbid.
Well, I mean, what do you do? Like where's your peace? Where do you go for peace these days? Because you can't even have it in your home because they're breaking in your homes and stealing your key fobs to steal your car.
Well, I lock my door religiously.
And I am not blaming law enforcement. they're just overwhelmed. I'm not blaming the governor. I'm not blaming the senators. I'm not blaming the politicians. This is not something that happened just last night. This has been going on for building up for years. And I do blame New York City, who shows the way and just lets everybody out of jail. And, you can go and rob all the big cities, San Francisco. Oh, it's okay. Do whatever you want. So then you have the copycat.
So what are you going to do about it?
What am I going to do about it? I'm an old man. I did my time.
Well, what do you suggest
I like
we
to
do
think
about
me
it?
and my partners and brothers and sisters made a difference, but how much can you do? How much can you do?
I don't know. Something's got to be done.
Well, that ain't going to get it done.
Caffeine will get it done.
Right. You better take a sip. But
Gotta.
I don't know what the answer is. It's not the first time our country's, well, it is the first time I think our country's gone through this as a whole, where throughout the nation, we've decided that we were going to defund the police. And that basically just opened up the eyes and ears of every opportunist criminal out there that figures, well, nothing's going to happen to me. So I'll go for it. What's the penalty?
Way to go, Holly Fort D. Martinez. By the way,
Yeah.
another one of your favorite delis.
I haven't seen Marco in forever. Jimmy Playtech, if you're watching, we got to go see Marco. It's one of my favorite.
Green Village.
Green Village. So many good sandwiches I eat there.
Asian chicken salad. The best.
Yeah, well, he makes it for you when I'm there, so I can bring it
Love
home
you
too.
too. But she has a point.
She says, need to lock the cars. It's bad in our hometown. People should be fined if they are still leaving keys in the car. But you're right, and you're right in the middle somewhere, Holly, because what are we going to have the police now going around looking in people's cars to see if they left the key fobs? I guess you could, if the car's stolen and they find the key fob in there, I guess you can, but what do you say to the 70-year-old woman who's just 75 years old woman, just a little frantic, and she gets out of her car and leaves her keys in the car, and she didn't do it on purpose? I mean, I will admit I used to leave my key fobs in the car all the time.
Oh my God, a lot.
Right? Because I came from the theory that if they wanted to break into the car, they're going to get into it. But now people are pulling in their driveway and trying to get out of the car as fast as they can and get to the front door or through the garage. I mean, they're following you in the garage.
Well,
unless you live here, because our doors are wide open.
Holly happens to have some major guard dogs, so she's fine.
Well, there's something to be said for that. Oh, but there is something to be said that they'll well, maybe not. They'll shoot these poor dogs. I've seen that too.
God forbid.
Yeah, they don't care. They just don't care. They just don't care.
She said, it's not the little old lady. It's us younger generation that think that we live in Florham Park and that nothing's going to happen, and puts the community in a proposition and the police. So
here's the problem. You live in a beautiful community and you have a great police department, but you have a very small police department.
I have to say, he is getting the message out at all times.
Who's he?
Our chief Orlando. He is getting the message out at all. He always sends things out. Always lock your cars, lock your cars, lock your cars.
Yeah.
So
Great.
I mean,
it's more than
I
that.
don't know what else you can do.
Well, I don't think that's the chief's main thing, but with all due respect to the chief, if it is, that ain't cutting the mustard. The chief in East Hanover is putting up cameras. He floods crime areas even more with his. I've never seen a police car come down our street. Never. I'm afraid that if I needed them and called, they wouldn't even know how to get here. And I granted, don't tell anybody where we are, please. But I think that we're in our own little cul-de-sac, and I think they're doing a good job. But I think police strategy needs to change a little bit during these times. Just happens to strain. I have a big pet peeve with these police cars that are just, they call them, I don't even know what they call them. They're darked out. The windows are darked out. You can't even see the name on the police car
You almost
anymore.
can't even see it.
You can't even see it. One of the things we did in the city, and it gets old because the bad guys know what you're doing, but sometimes at night you got to drive around with your lights on, and it shows a police presence, and they're in the area, and they're not as brave. But But I'll talk to the assistant chief of Florham Park off the air and make
679A.
679A my partner, and she's retired and went to Florham Park. But I think something needs to be done. I think all these small communities, whether we all border Livingston and East Hanover and Florham Park, and they're probably doing all this. The prosecutor knows to do it. The chiefs are brilliant guys. They know what to do. But I think we need to do something and take our neighborhoods back a little bit. I really do. I think we need to, a little shock, send a message. Like this isn't funny, but in the old days, push them to the next county.
Like a militia.
Yeah, get them out of Morris County, push them over to Warren County. Let them Warren County push it up to Sussex County. That's a joke. That's what we used to say.
Well, the issue with where we're located is that we're so close to all these major highways that would, be an easy out to get to. Yeah, like Holly said, we have access to every single roadway within 5 minutes of us.
Well, then let's call the state police in and start a task force.
Yeah. So
I mean, and there's not enough cops to go around right now, but I don't know. We need to. I know for a fact that Morris County is proactive. They are proactive, and they do a lot of great things. But we're so spoiled, and even I sound spoiled now, that I live in this, Disney World here, and I don't want anything to happen. And when it does, I'm being and moaning on the air. But the truth of the matter is, it's more than just something happening now. It's becoming consistent.
I don't have any family in police, but if I did, I'd be very worried, and I could be driving home from somewhere, and because somebody left their keys in the car, there could be a pursuit, and that could be the end of me.
Well, that's the truth, and we tell our kids that every night, that nothing good says, listen to that Jersey line. We say that nothing good happens after midnight, right? Get home, because there's either drunks out there driving or criminals out there looking around to do something. But to Holly's point, unfortunately, most of the time, and by the way, you can't pursue somebody doing 100 miles per hour in a stolen car. You're not going to put your own life in danger.
Right.
You have to go after them, and you have to stop them from hopefully hurting somebody else. That's the real reason. It's not the high to go get the car back. It's to stop them from hurting somebody. Right. I never understood that. But it's always the innocent person that is the victim.
Right.
Always. I've seen horrific things from stolen cars. I've seen subjects drive stolen cars and hit trees and get out, and you're in a foot chase with them.
Right.
God forbid that's an innocent family.
You have to talk to 679 because she's on top of this.
Yeah. We'll talk more about it. Let's go.
She's watching, and she knows that she is needed in this community.
Yeah, there's no criticism here. This is just, I think it's one of those.
You didn't criticize her. You said you wanted to talk to her.
No, I'm saying for the town itself. They're all for, it's we used to joke in the cities that these chiefs have these cushy jobs and these great salaries, and in here we're in the city and dodging bullets and car thieves and murderers and everything else. Well, I'm sorry to say, New Jersey, right now we have a problem, and it's spread through all our communities. So I think for the first time, we're really faced with something that we're all not used to. And the police can't be everywhere, and they can't be on every street. I'm busting their chops that they've never come down our street. But the truth of the matter is, they need to be where these I'm gonna go a step further. These animals are targeting. So,
well, I believe community outreach is important, and I do believe that I appreciate when I go on Facebook and I see there's no secrets. In other words, the chief in our town, he is telling the facts, and he is doing what he can to keep telling us to lock our cars. But what else can't go door to door and say, did you lock your car today?
You know what I want, Rob? No, I do want that.
How?
I want you to market it. I want you to put it up on a billboard. I want you to put those stupid signs up that the construction people use.
We don't have any billboards.
Get those stupid signs, electric signs, and put them up on the corners and where it says slow down and be aware, keep your key. You need to do things that you usually didn't do right now.
I
And
think
you know
they
what
do
else
it
I
in
want,
the
Rob?
electronic thing.
Yeah, always stick up for them. Yeah, because I drive by that every day. You know what else I want? Get out of your damn cars. Start walking into the businesses. Start bumping into people in the supermarkets. Get out of your cars. You okay? How you doing, Mrs. DiLauri? How you doing, Robin Ann? You didn't leave your keys in the car, did you? Walk into a diner. How you doing, Mr. Diner? Everybody.
Yeah, that is a little old school, right?
Hi,
I
I'm
like
Officer
that.
Joe today. I'm going to have a grilled cheese sandwich. Does everybody here have their car keys? Or did you leave them in the car? Right? Everybody be embarrassed. What a jerk. Guess what? They're all thinking, you got your car keys? You got your car keys? Got to dare to be different right now. You got to think out of the box. We're in trouble. 679A, I will be sending you a professional email of what my recommendations. Do we have a suggestion box in the chief's office?
I'm sure there's a suggestion box.
I'm joking.
I bet you there is.
No, and in today's world, I'm trying to make fun of a serious situation, but the truth of the matter is, it will take, unfortunately, we've all learned this, a tragedy before we really go on the offense.
As you know, I am a big fan of the police, and my heart
Well, your
is
father
especially
was one of the
with
legendary cops here
the
in this
Florham
town.
Park Police.
Right.
And I'm a huge fan, but I will say, and it's not a but, I really do like your idea of seeing them more out of their cars and stuff.
Right.
But don't they need to be by their car if there's like a call?
I think they could get there in time. You can't sit in that car all damn
They
day
do a
anyway.
lot of community outreach programs.
Yeah.
They do
At
like
night? They do it at night?
what? The town does
You
a
sound
lot.
like the big guy. What?
The town does a lot of fun things.
Town. We live here because it's a great town.
Yeah, like
And you're a
first
great
night-
town because you got people that care under your board of ed. You got your politicians, your chiefs, your captains, lieutenants. Everybody cares because the majority of them live in this town. So they're also citizens.
I think that should be a rule too.
Yeah, but I'm
I think you should
preaching to
have
the
live
choir
in
here
the town
because
that you're a police officer.
these police officers' families live here, and selfishly, they know something could happen to their family. What I'm saying is, we got to do a team back and
And the
new
cops
strategy.
should get tax. If they couldn't necessarily afford to live in the town that they worked in, they should get tax breaks to be able to live here. Because
No,
what
that'll
is
go
the
over big.
downside about living in the same community that you're policing?
There is some downside.
Why? Well, for the cop,
Well,
but not for the community.
No, not for the community. You know, in one thing that I always loved, and it was done in different states.
Like anytime anybody wants to see 679, we just like,
Right.
hey, right, hey.
But you know what was cool? In Maryland, they do this. In Florida, they do this. They get to take their marked unit home with them. They get, with a gun and a badge, they get a car. And they take care of the car better. There's great strategy here. They take care of it because it's their car, right? So they don't abuse it. They take care of their car. But that car's driving, when they go to the supermarket, if they're off duty, they're driving that car. They're going to their kids' Little League game, they're driving that car. Well, when the bad guy's out there casing, he's seeing even guys that aren't on duty. He don't know it's police officer presence. And it makes a lot of sense to me. And I'm sure they can't afford it, but our great federal
I
government
like my idea though.
want to defund.
It's like, you remember, you know how you
Defund.
used to always think that the teacher lived in the school?
Yeah,
If you saw your teacher at like ShopRite, you'd be like, hey, what are you doing here?
I didn't go to school.
But I feel like back in the day, I feel like we knew all the police officers because we lived and grew up with their children.
Right.
And so there was like a certain sense of trust that we had because we knew them. Now, I get that not every police officer can live in the town that they police, or they shouldn't have to, or they don't want to.
Why shouldn't they have to?
Well,
Why shouldn't they have to?
well,
Like even in the cities where
What if
people
they're-
where they're rough and stuff like that, you can't raise a
what
family.
if
they
I'm a
wanna say-
cop and my
Right.
husband works? Like, why should we have to move our whole family if he?
Then don't take the job.
It's
Go do
a
something else for a living.
what?
Go do something else like in
No,
these
you're not-
in these towns. I'm not talking about cities. These towns, you should have to live in these towns.
That's a small town thing.
At a minimum, the county.
Well, it worked, Kelly Gallagher. It worked. We knew
Kelly, you knew every South Amboy cop that ever got in a patrol car, and you knew that you felt safe because you knew that they were your friend and you went to school with them and they would protect you. That's a fact. That's a fact. We all did. Old Bridge, after we moved out of Newark, I knew the cops. I knew them. Small town.
Well, let's just say we can't do that. What we can do is see them more and be and have more opportunities to see them when they're not in their cars with the windows up. Right?
With a vest that's on that looks like they just came out of Iraq in a war. Slow down. I want you to be safe and protect yourself and have the right weapons. But not every little kid wants you to see like your RoboCop walking around. You know what I mean? There needs to be. We need.
Yes. But I'm gonna give you the flip side. When crazy things are happening in this world, we need to protect our police officers.
Yeah, they have plenty.
What did you just say about there's a shooting? You know, there's shootings in small towns.
Yeah, of course there is, in schools and all that. But you have a second to put it on. You can't have a tank in front of your school. You can't have the Hummer that the federal government paid for during Sandy in front of your school.
Why?
Because kids think something's wrong and they get nervous. What is Holly saying? It's too long for me to read.
Holly, I will read it. You read it now because you just said it was too long.
No, I want to.
Oh, you can't see it?
Right. That's what...
We wouldn't have these problems at the community if they would follow the rules, lock their doors, lock their houses, and not leave the keys in the car. I don't think it's a matter of bad policing or if they live in town or not. I really don't. If you want to leave your keys in your car and somebody breaks into your house because of the clicker or what not, that should be your problem.
Agreed. And nobody's bashing cops. But Holly, my friend, it was nice when I grew up. I grew up in what they call a backdoor community. Everybody left their doors open and the neighbors came in and out. Those days are over. And it's hard for people. Our kids are clueless. They don't have a clue. That's the way we raised them. They're clueless. There's no street smart kids. So you find yourself walking around, locking your doors. They open them. They walk out to their car and they leave the door open. So they're somewhere in the middle. The police can't police everybody. I like your idea of being more responsible, but we're going to have to market, which the police department is a business now. It's not just law enforcement. You have to do different things. You have to market these hard times to people. Subliminal message. We need signs. We need awareness. We need our cops. Maybe crime. There's not a lot of crime in a day. Guess what, fellas? I know you got unions. Put most of the guys on nights. But no, our unions are too strong. You can't do that either. So these chiefs are handcuffed.
We want to see our cops during the day.
No, I'm not saying, miss my point. If you have 6 cops on during the day and you have no crime, have 3 on during the day and put 3 more on 4 to 12 when there's more crime.
But half of the time we've been seeing these break-ins during the day.
I don't know that.
In the daylight.
Our dear friends got their house broken into the other night.
In the daylight.
It's not 7-Eleven. It's never stops. Crime is going to happen through all times of the day and night. I'm just saying that there's more eyes out during the day because we're all awake and we're all looking out for each other. At nighttime, when people lay their head down or go behind closed doors, there's not as many people around. We need help. We need more police.
She said we shouldn't need billboards. You guys are great. I love you.
We should defund. Should we defund?
But if people in this community can't get a grip and lock their cars, then they deserve what they get.
Yeah, you don't mind when they deserve what they get if they get their car stolen. It's when they come in your house and they try to physically hurt you. Or they're trying to get in your car, as we witnessed with a friend of ours, and the 15-year-old is holding a gun because it's fallen off his hip.
Right.
What do you do then if you're an off-duty cop? You walk out and he goes to grab the gun and you kill a 15-year-old. Do you understand where this goes? It's never going to de-escalate. It's just going to constantly escalate. And what's happened is I'm here on the other mic saying, all right, nobody's doing it. I'm not going to become a victim. You're going to become a victim? I'm not waiting. And we have friends that became victims. It's not cool. And I don't know that there's a right answer. I'm not big city
Speaking of marketing,
big city copping it to a chief here.
speaking of marketing, listen to me. Speaking of marketing, defund the police was just the most ridiculous marketing campaign that I've ever heard in my entire life. It was shock and awe because it was to get us to think that we should not fund the very people that protect us. And then it perpetuated a whole campaign into making cops the enemy. And that is disgusting. Now, if you want to have a conversation with me about reallocating funds,
That's right.
we can do that. We could do that in any discipline, right? We could do that in hospitals. We can do that in school districts. But the slogan, defund the police, was the most dangerous and ridiculous sentence that I have heard in my years of living, because what that did was just create hate to our heroes. And there were bad eggs. There's bad eggs in every discipline. There's bad doctors, there's bad teachers, there's bad cops. I get it. But how that campaign got a viral audience that just further polarized our country kills me. By one statement, defund the police. Be careful with your words, people.
Yeah, well, the words now, are they happy?
How could they be happy?
Are they happy? Is America happy? Because now what happens is it just escalates. Now people feel a need if there's no police. I always said this, though. No cop wakes up in the morning, puts his uniform on and says, I can't wait to go out there and hurt somebody today. Nobody. Even your biggest jackasses that may wear a uniform are usually your cowards. No cop likes a bad cop. None. But this whole thing where they did a blanket campaign against all police officers, that when you call 911, cop doesn't say, what color are you? What neighborhood do you live in? No, they go balls out, lights and siren to get to you no matter who you are, even if you're a bad guy, to help you. And our politicians just decided, not all our politicians, I would just defund the police. Yeah, defund it.
What does that even mean?
How's that work out for you?
It doesn't even make sense.
So with defund,
these words are dangerous.
And then the New York laws of just letting everybody out. We won't prosecute you unless you steal over something $1,000. All these things run concurrent with each other. And the next thing you know, we got the problems we have.
Yeah.
And that's where we are. And you know, it's a rainy day.
Thank you for being a part of this conversation, Holly. How about letting people out of jail because of COVID or other bail reform things, and then regular citizens have to be the demise of those people? Unbelievable, she writes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we're just not making sense.
Right.
And that's what I can't. We can have debates all day long if we're talking apples to apples. But if we're just going to throw out blanket statements and then not back them up with what that blanket statement means, that's dangerous.
Well, look at our Democratic mayor in New York City, Eric Adams, who I'm fond of. I like him. He's got his hands full because the mayor, de Blasio, that was there for 8 years, absolutely destroyed New York City. Destroyed it. Is it his fault, all one person? Yes. Yes. He was the leader. Yes. He's a piece of garbage. Giuliani had to come in and clean it up. Bloomberg kept it clean. De Blasio destroyed New York City. Destroyed it. And Eric Adams finally had us called out the other day, and he said, I can't handle the immigrants. I don't know where to put them. What am I going to do with all these people? This is wrong. These sanctuary cities. I can't do it. I know we're a sanctuary city. I can't do it. I can't do it. We can't do it. We need federal help. You can't just send them here. Because why? These people have nowhere to go, or they finally get here in America. They're here illegally. Which door you think they're knocking on and looking in? when they get desperate and they have no food or no money? What are you going to do then? When the government turns their back on them, which is going to happen. Or when the governor, and then it becomes political. Laugh about it, don't laugh about it. It was serious, it's not serious. This is the way he said it, man. Just Governor DeSantis says, all right, you want him? I'll put him on a plane and send him to Martha's Vineyard. Oh, no, don't bring him here. Don't bring him here.
By the way, what happened with that?
What happened when it's an S show, as they say. They can't figure it out.
What?
They can't figure it out. They don't know what to do. They went for instant gratification, just like they did with, to your point, with defund the police. Let's get into, somebody thought that was a good idea. How's it all working out now? Because everybody goes away eventually, and then it's Joe Q. Citizen left holding the bag. And that's
Disgraziad.
What's that other word?
Disgraceful.
Shem.
I have little patience for the lack of common sense. Because most of the time things just come down to just that.
Yep.
And everything else is convoluted by dangerous words, marketing ploys, political parties fighting, and the only people that lose is us.
I'm going to make a statement here. I guess you can say it's political. I hear this over and over in my community or wherever, and I hear it from my own friends, brothers and sisters, and said, I'll never let my kid be a cop now. Here's what I'm going to tell you. To every young man and young woman that graduated college, it's the greatest job in the world. Go sign up, do something for your community, make a difference, be a cop. Go be a cop. Our state needs you. Our recruiting went down. Our state police, our numbers are down. There's still guys and girls that want to be cops. Go. When I took the test, you couldn't get on anywhere. But the politics and the media have made this job poison, and now they're afraid they're going to get personally sued. And by the way, they should, because it's happening. Go be a cop. It's the greatest job in the world. You go ahead, be the generation like the greatest generation when we went to war. Those 15, 16, 17-year-old soldiers, our great-grandfathers, that made a difference because they went and fought for their country. Let's fight for our communities. Be a cop. Be a cop. It's a great job. It's the best job in the world. It's the greatest time of my life. I'll go back. That's the funny part. After 9/11, my partner was 50-something years old. He went and tried to sign back up with the Marines. They said, we think you're a little old. The truth of the matter is, everybody should go back. 60 is your new 50, and 50 is your new 40. Go back, put us on. Like LA Police Department, LA Reserve is the greatest in the country. Carla Amundsen, our friend who runs their foundation. You have surgeons, lawyers, janitors, football coaches that work weekends in full uniform, go to the police academy, and they work with a regular LA police officer. They are fully sworn. And during Monday through Friday, he could be taking out your heart and saving your life.
Can they have a gun?
They have everything. They have full police powers. Make a difference. Sign up. Let's bring that. Let's have that here. Guess what? All the retired guys will probably come back for free.
Yeah.
For free. Stick them in a radio car.
I'm worried about your knee, though, hon.
I said, stick me in the car with a cup of coffee. I don't have to get out. But
okay.
You can't outrun a microphone. He's running south, the 23-year-old that has signed up. He'll figure it out and get it. We're not bashing the police. We're rooting for the police.
Let's do it for our country, the red, white, and the blue.
You got to have a better salute than that. Yeah, that's good. Cover your eye. But Kelly Gallagher and Holly and 679A, I appreciate all your words of wisdom. But as they say in A Few Good Men, nobody wants anybody's opinion. Just pick up a rifle and stand guard at the gate.
Before we leave, we are going to end with a wonderful, you need this today.
Yeah, we talked.
Caffeina. Goodbye, everyone.
Have a good
Caffeina. Boost, replenish, hydrate. Caffeina with your meeting, with a workout, on the go, to keep going, with a meal, with friends, to kickstart your day. Caffeina, Amazon's best-selling caffeine-infused spring water, 7+ pH balance, electrolyte enhanced. Taste pure spring water. Feel the charge.